Hey everybody, Scott here. Back to drink another tea. This is a tea that hopefully we will list soon. Probably by the time this video is up, we'll have this tea available on the website. It's the 2012 Gao Jia Shan Qian Liang Cha. And this, for those of you who are not familiar with Cha and Qian Liang, or Gao Jia Shan, this is a Hunan producer. Hunan, not Yunnan. Hunan, Hunan province, where Fucha, Anhua County, this is where Gao Jia Shan is located. Gao Jia Shan is the name of the producer, and it's also an area in Anhua County in Hunan. They produce Fucha, Tianjian, Qian Liang tea, and some other Cha as well. And they're kind of, I think, my favorite producer from Hunan province for Cha. And this is the first, I think, that we're offering. Actually, no, we did offer a set in a box of Qian Liang tea quite a while ago, sold out. But this one is a 36.25 kilo Qian Liang. It means like 1,000 liang. It's an old measurement. And the tea is compressed into these like really long rolls. You can look, if you go to the listing down below, you can look and you can see there's actually a video there that links to something that CCTV in China did about the processing of Qian Liang tea, and it shows like a team of people like rolling it. It's pretty incredible. But it's a tea meant for aging, and it's a tea that also has golden flowers in it. Not always golden flowers, but this one does have it. Not a huge amount, but a decent amount. And different parts of it will typically have more or less. But the way that we're selling it is we've taken this long thing that's probably, I'd guess 8 feet long. And we've sliced it into kind of cakes. That just are around 700 to 800 grams each. So anyways, let's get started and we'll talk more about it. But yeah, really excited for this tea. Have drank it many times. I'm excited to get it. It's just really good. It's it's more than just a curiosity. It's a very fascinating tea and a very fascinating history behind these teas. But more than that, they're just good. Let's go ahead and I'm actually gonna drink the wash here, or a little bit of it. Pour a little bit into here. Use this to warm the cups. But it has almost like a yeasty type smell when you first brew it, because that's like when the golden flowers get activated, because they're basically a type of spore, a type of I guess mold, I guess you could say. But it's believed to be good for you and tastes good, and certainly it's a little too hot. But what's interesting about this tea is the flavor is just really unique, just totally unique. And it's unique compared to Fucha and Tianjian, which are actually from the same area and sometimes the same raw material. Because of the processing and the aging process, it has really its own unique profile, flavor and aroma profile. It's so hard to describe the flavor, the smell of this. It's very earthy. It's kind of, it's really just, it has a very nice kind of like tea, thick, sweet aroma, but it's also kind of like grassy, or I want to say like kind of not manure, but like a fermented grassy type of aroma to it, but in a very sweet, nice way. Earthiness. It has a little bit of, I think, black tea kind of smell to it as well, probably because of the wilting that happens during the processing. But Yeah, this is Gao Jia Shan is, I think, the best producer in Hunan. The most famous producer is Baishaxi, and they've been around the longest. And they have some good teas as well. They tend to be a little bit larger of a producer, and so some of their not all of their productions are great. Whereas I feel like with Gao Jia Shan, all of their productions are at least good. At least so far, the ones that I've tasted, and I haven't tasted all of them, and I haven't tasted, all the Baishaxi productions or anything like that either. But just I generally prefer Gao Jia Shan to Baishaxi. But of course, there's the 5735 Baishaxi Blue Mark. That's a great one. So and we offer some other Baishaxi. There's some good ones. And we offer Baishaxi Qian Liang as well from 2007, which is the first Qian Liang we offered, and that's very good too. So, making generalizations is useful and not useful at the same time. So the tea soup here is it's kind of I would say, it looks like, like a 10 or 15-year-old sheng. It's kind of looks like black tea, but it's darker. It looks like a very light, like if you didn't brew a ripe tea very, very dark. It's getting darker here. I think I'm still gonna wait on this because I don't want to burn myself. But looking at this is just this is a piece. These are pieces that were broken up, and we also are going to sell it in cubes. We had them cut, so you can buy cakes, and you'll get a cake and probably a little bit of broken up stuff as well to get you to 800 grams. But then you get a full cake as well, and yeah. So there's golden flowers in there. You'll see them. They're like little yellow, like dots. In Chinese, they call it Jinhua, so, which basically just means golden flowers. You'll find it sometimes in pu'er, but usually it's not intended to be in pu'er at all. It ends up there kind of typically if pu'er was pressed too tightly and wasn't dried properly, sometimes you'll find some golden flowers in the middle of it. Not really what I think they were going for. But I have seen it occasionally, very, very rarely. Whereas with Qian Liang tea and Fuzhuan, this is something that they're intentionally trying to, introduce. And I think they do actually inoculate the tea with the spores, the golden flower spores. I have also heard that that they may use, and I don't know, I haven't been able to confirm it, that they may actually use wheat to create the spores, and then from that inoculate. So I do always tell people, if you're like celiacs, if you're super hyper sensitive to gluten, this tea, you should avoid it. But again, I think probably okay if you just don't like gluten. Like I'm not a big fan of just eating a bunch of glutinous stuff. Or whatever, if you're just avoiding gluten in your diet, I don't think this is a problem. If you are like celiacs, like gluten sensitive, like highly reactive, allergic to gluten, then you should avoid this tea and all Fuzhuan and Qian Liang tea. But again, I could be totally wrong about that. I advise that to people just out of concern and just to be better safe than sorry. Very sweet and nice. I think it's still opening up here. The second one, this is a tightly compressed tea. This is very tightly compressed. I like to break it up. I did break this up fairly well because I knew that otherwise it was just going to be, and in fact we're still kind of dealing with chunks here. You can see the color of the tea there, but it kind of looks like ripe tea. It's almost as dark. This one seems almost more aged than it is. This one actually, in some ways, the tea soup and the color of the leaf itself actually reminds me a bit of the 2007 Qian Liang tea that we saw, though this is a 2012. It's entirely possible that they used older than 2012 leaves for the Qian Liang tea and compressed it in 2012. That's possible as well. So maybe that's one of the reasons, but mine's, what's it remind me of? It's just grassy. It has a little bit of a medicinal taste. It's very sweet, and I like it. I think just because it's kind of an easygoing tea. Like it's not really one thing or the other. It's not a weak tea. It's full. It's very complex and full in the mouth. Chachi wise, it's definitely not weak. It's very calming. It's never like jittery. It's a very, I think, kind of like, you know, supportive tea, as it were. Like, and it just kind of like gives you, you know, something nice and a little boost, but nothing like, you know, not boosting you up into the stratosphere. This is the best infusion yet. I'm getting some dried fruit in there, some grass, and some kind of like maltiness, like you would find in a good black tea. Ulysses down there. Let's keep going here. Steep number, steep number 4. This one we didn't really, well, we did kind of drink. We'll call this steep number 5. It's like juicy and fruity and earthy at the same time. It's got a lot of interesting contrasts that, you know, a lot of different, you know, things going on here. I'm actually gonna flip this because I may have some compacted pieces down there that need a little coming unfurling. Yeah, in fact there is. On the bottom there was just this kind of packed in piece that wasn't really getting enough space, so maybe I can give it a little bit of space here. Give this a little manual work. All right, let's drink this one, number 6. Oh, I just feel like this keeps getting better and better and better. Again, I think, you know, 6 steeps in, we're still noticing new sides to the tea. I think that says a lot about the quality of the tea as well. And it's not just entirely because of compressions. This is definitely one of the more potent teas in terms of infusibility, or, you know, how many steeps it'll take and how gracefully it'll take those steeps. Sweet, nice. So hard to describe. It was like I made a video the other day about the Jian Alluvial Angel, which is a Taiwan oolong that we offer on Taiwan Sourcing, and I just felt like I didn't have the right vocabulary, that I haven't really developed it, you know, for those kinds of teas. And I feel like that with this one as well. It's definitely, I don't want to say outside of my comfort zone, but in terms of talking about it, it is a little bit, just because I don't have as much experience with these teas. I mean, I have a lot of experience drinking them, but normally when I drink teas, I'm not like making notes. I'm just drinking the teas, and I'm deciding if I like the tea, how I feel about it, did it wow me, is it something that other people would like, is it, you know, all these kind of things. So I'm not really, I'm judging it, but I'm not describing it, I guess you could say. I'm kind of more like intuitively kind of like from my gut, just deciding about it. So it's a real different exercise to drink the tea and talk about it, and but you know, that's my own challenge, as it were. But you know, I'll do my best. This has got a really nice viscous kind of coating as well. Not drying at all. There's a little bit of mintiness in the aftertaste, kind of a cooling mintiness. Keep going here. I'm not going to re-steep the water. I'll try to keep this video relatively short. Yeah, I remember the first time I ever came across fucha, or tea from Hunan. I was in the tea market in Yunnan in probably 2004 or 2005, and I came across somebody who had a bunch of fu brick, and I think it was actually the Xiangyi, maybe it was Zhongcha, I think it was Xiangyi Tea Factory, and they were from 1991, I think. And I think they had 20 or 30 of them, and I tried it and I was like, oh, this is good. And I think I think they were like a few dollars or something at the time. And I just bought them all. There weren't that many of them. They just had them sitting around. The wrappers were torn up and they were just kind of glad to be rid of them. It seemed like they had, mistakenly got them or something. And I sold them on yunansourcing.com. I think they sold out within a year. And there's some people there somewhere. Maybe one of you watching has one of those. Now Hunan teas that are that old definitely go for a decent amount. The market kind of like after Pu'er took off, the Hunan, tea market also took off, and some of the more aged stuff really, like people really started to pick that up and really started to appreciate it more, and the prices went up as well. And at the time I was so focused on Pu'er that I didn't really have much insight or much opportunity to buy those teas. So I mean, no regrets really. It's actually good to see that market developing, and that the Hunan, because there's some great teas coming out of Hunan, and if it's only worthwhile for these producers like Gao Jia Shan, who are making more premium hei cha, to do it if there's actually really a market for it. And of course it's a domestic market in China. And I'm glad that they're able to, got a gnat flying around here. I'm glad that they're able to, make money at it and have this develop a stable market with, good teas and customers who appreciate it, whether they be in China or outside of China. So that's steep number. I could probably reboil the water, but I'm not going to. Let's just go ahead and drink this one. I'm totally at a loss for words. I'm very much enjoying this tea, but I'm having a really hard time describing it. I don't know if it's just I'm not relaxed today, or if, what's going on. I feel like my brain's kind of like saying, no, don't say that. That's stupid. Very nice and sweet, malty. A very enjoyable tea. That's all I can really say. So again, we're going to be offering this on yunansourcing.com. We're going to be offering roughly 800 grams, one cake, one cutting, and then it could be 750 grams, and then you'll get another 50 grams loose. And then we're also going to be offering it cut into kind of cubes as well, like sampler, 50 grams. And then also kind of like loose, like chunks like this, and pieces of cakes, 250 grams as well. So like we did with the 2007 Baishashi Qian Liang tea. So anyways, yeah, look down there. We'll link to the product. Definitely check that out. Go on the product listing, and you can see some more information, pictures about how they process, and a video link to a video showing how they process Qian Liang tea. It's pretty fascinating, and this is a good tea. I definitely recommend, if you're at all interested, picking up 50 grams and just trying it and see if you like it too, as much as I did. Thanks for watching. Bye.